Welcome to Reading the Green, a golf and fantasy sports show. My name is Mike with Jordan, Kyle, special guest Austin. Tuesday, March 11th, this is episode 131, the Players' Championship preview, broadcasting live from Office Golf in the Twin Cities. Austin, new to the show. This is where you work. Golf simulator, co-working space. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, happy to host tonight. If I could just put a little plug in for Office Golf, it's a great place to, on a lunch break, you can golf balls for an hour and get right back to the office in 30 seconds.
Tuesday night, 8 to 9. I mean, there's still people hitting.
Yeah,
This place closed at 9 o'clock and it's 9:19.
We could have hit a couple more balls.
Okay, let's do this. Kyle, what'd you think of the alternate shot match play?
Somehow it got set up incorrectly. I'm not going to blame anyone here. It was giving Jordan and I strokes, but I think we won then.
Yeah,
I understand.
You guys probably got about 16 strokes in 12 holes.
So we won by 14.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan, where did we play?
Where did we play? The Italian course. Where the Ryder Cup was. Marco Simone.
Marco Simone. Who is that guy? Or that thing?
Is he the guy that was the cap, like the game you play in the pool?
Yes, that's right. Okay. Unremarkable golf course. But yeah, it was close. A little alternate shot, match play. Austin and I, but I think we would have played the last 6 holes. It would have been all right.
Yeah. It would
Okay.
have been a close match.
All right. Well, here's the deal. We've been 4 weeks since we last had the pod. We previewed the Genesis. Back on February 11th, actually. So here we go. 7 topics to catch up the last month of golf. It'll be fast. Oh boy. Big news today. Season-ending injury for Tiger Woods. Question. Is it season-ending if he never started a season?
Oh, you played TG.
Oh my God, you're right. The TGL season.
I mean, good thing they didn't make the playoffs. And what would they do? They can't run Kisner out there.
That's a good. They would have signed a 1-day contract for Scotty Scheffler.
You can't do that in the playoffs. Come on, this is serious golf.
I thought your question was going to be about how did he get hurt? Because you don't really hurt your Achilles playing golf.
I think Jordan has some good ideas here.
Yeah, what do you think, Jordan? Anything that can be actually shared?
What's the only thing that Tiger has done almost as much as golf in his life?
Crash cars?
Navy
Nope.
SEAL training.
Nope.
Man.
Hooters girls.
Hooters girls. Okay.
That's my bet. Is how this injury happened. He's single again.
Is he single again?
Yeah, did you remember he kicked
that's right,
he kicked her out
Yeah,
without
that's
telling?
right,
Like,
right.
you got her. Someone gave her a note saying you need to move out by noon or something.
I am
He's
totally.
ruthless.
I'm totally fine with whatever he's doing with his career right now. But as far as he plays in this is one tournament a year. I do not know why he needs to prep for it. Because he thinks he still can win.
Because he can still win.
Oh my
He's
God.
Tiger.
Oh my God. You and all the.
He made
Golf.
the cut last year.
I know.
I was there in 2019 when he won it. No one thought he'd win then either.
That's true.
This. All right. Well, let's turn our attention to some guys that actually can win this week. So Genesis Invitational, the one that was moved from Riviera to Torrey Pines. Ludwig got revenge on both Torrey Pines and the Flu. Here's my take. I think Ludwig had to win a tournament like this year to actually be considered superstar elite golfer right now. This is kind of Colin Morikawa feel to it, that if Ludwig went like 2-3 years between winning the RSM and winning something else, we started to question his actual superstar status.
I don't know if I would put him in that category even yet.
Really?
Like, he's the next echelon right here. He's like the
Horse proof.
the next one up, but he needs the W's, to your point, right? He is Tony Finau 4 years ago.
Shots fired.
I know. He's so.
But he could run off
Wait,
at the same
does
time.
he have 7 kids too?
And getting sued by like 7 people.
I didn't know that.
He could run off 6 this year though. That is in the realm of possibility. Actually, that's probably a better equivalent is Scotty 3.
I think it was really important for him to win that tournament.
I agree.
More
Yeah.
so than Maverick, who I really kind of wanted to win and just kind of get his due. But I think it was important for Ludwig to get a second win against a real field.
So like this year though, for it to be considered a success for Ludwig, I would say he either needs like 2 wins or 3 wins almost to be a guy that's considered
Sure.
3rd on the odds board or 4th on the odds board like he is right now. He probably needs 3 wins this year, and one can be a lesser event, but one needs to be one of the majors or this week to be that guy.
Probably, I agree with that. If he wins an elevated event and a major,
Yeah.
for sure.
Should I make my claim like I did with Scheffler that year? I compared him to Steve Stricker. You remember that?
What
I was like, I don't know. He's good, but he hasn't won anything. And then he fucking won like 8 of the next whatever.
Oh, Jordan is hot takes.
Yep. I'm not gonna. He's too good for that.
He is too good for that. So then after Genesis, we head down to Mexico. Basically, all the top players from the Genesis withdrew. Akshay, Maverick, they all withdraw. Mexico, we get our classic Mexico Open field. And we get a DFS darling in Aldrich Potgieter coming down to a playoff against something called Brian Campbell. Team Potgieter, Team Campbell. Who are you on, Kyle?
Team Campbell all the way.
Team
Plus,
Campbell all the way.
I wasn't on Polkeider that week because I was so heavily at Torrey, as we talked about one of the last spots, that he was getting so much love. I faded him in Mexico. So I had to go Campbell for the story, right? Come on.
Austin, I know you missed the Mexico Open.
Definitely did.
No joke, in a playoff, Brian Campbell, like, no name, 29-year-old golfer, University of Illinois, hits a classic Austin slice on the first hole of the playoff, literally going 20 yards out of bounds, hits a tree, comes back in 100 yards behind the bomber of the entire field, Aldrich Potgieter, and he ends up making birdie to Potgieter's par to win the tournament.
We just saw a reenactment of that, I think, at Marco Simone, number 10.
Yeah, so you get the Mexico. Now we're gonna get. I got a really good question for $100. Cognizant Classic. Who won the Cognizant Classic?
See, you didn't tell us we were doing all this rehash. I should know this.
This
But
was 2 weeks ago.
I know, I'm trying to blank at the
This is
exact
a professional golf tournament that you probably bet a lot of money on.
Oh yeah, and I watched it, and I watched the winner, and was not ready to be put on the spot mic.
His name is Joe Highsmith. I can't believe you don't know that.
Oh yeah, Captain Bucket Hat.
Floppy hat season. Joe Highsmith, the lefty, comes out of nowhere. Shoots 64.
And for the record, Jordan did not know that. He's looking it up.
Definitely looked it up. Joe Highsmith wins the Cognizant Classic, and that was just the precursor for the Arnie, when the guy that maybe should have won the Cog, Russell Henley, gets a little bit of magic coming down the stretch. Community win? Would we consider Henley a community win at Arnie?
High up on the model, I did not have a bet on Henley last week, but he was a big part of the cash lineup, so I'll take that.
It's another case of good players playing well win good golf tournaments. Typically what you see.
And
He's played well the whole year.
In the stats, I wish I had this in front of me, but I think they talked about it on No Laying Up this week, that based on where he was going into 4th rounds, he should have had 3 wins since his last win.
Which was 900 days ago.
So he's a choker.
He's not known as a closer. He's been straight shagged a little bit. His
Time, kind of get these guys tops.
9:30. God, we should be Henley has been it's weird. His stat profile's been upside down. He's been putting out of his mind, which you assume is going to run his scores. Ball striking lags, he's excellent. It sort of evens out, and he still putts well, and he goes and wins a big time event. So it takes reasons. So yeah, I think Mike Kim referred to them as they were what?
Yeah.
They were just fertilizer.
Yeah.
They're so fast and hard and crusty.
So many jokes that I'm not gonna make that comment, Mike.
All right. Well,
Just white, hard, and crusty, Mike. Really?
I'm just trying to make sure everyone has something they can add to the conversation here. Okay. So that's pro golf. That's the last month of pro golf. Had 4 events since the last time we potted. Obviously a huge event this week, but I have 2 questions. Get everybody involved here. Austin, I know you're not a big pro golf guy, but tell me about your golf game. 2025, you plan to accomplish blank on the golf course.
It's definitely take my TrackMan game that I learned this winter at the OG.
Really plugging the OG. Take it on the court. You
had some good shots out there.
Have you seen some improvements?
Yeah, I mean, TrackMan says I can hit it 270 once in a while. I want to see if I can do it.
You said okay. No score thresholds. You're just saying you want to hit good golf shots.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Jordan, on the golf course.
My goal is to double the number of rounds from last year.
Okay.
So 20-ish to 40 plus.
We're gonna play all of those in 1 week.
I'm gonna say going to Scotland helps. 8 rounds in 6 days. So I'll have a good start to the year by the time May 5th comes around. But I'm hoping for 40 plus. Wife has given me the.
What has to change? What's gonna change? What's gonna?
The kids are old enough.
No, I know, but like, do you have an extra game that you're gonna join, or are you gonna play like a normal Saturday game, or
TBD.
figure it
We'll
out?
see. I haven't golfed much on the weekend in the last 5 years, so now's my chance to get in with the cool golfers.
Oh yeah. What do you think, Kyle?
I was gonna go the same wavelength as Jordan, just play more. Last year I set some aggressive, well, last 2 years when we've had this conversation, some aggressive goals from a scoring perspective. But this year I just want to be free. Just go play.
So you're
Play a little bit more.
giving up on lessons?
No, I'm intrigued with the progress of, especially in my club head path and some of the distance and attack angle stuff. So I'm intrigued, but I got to get it out there and more.
I have a goal for you.
Okay.
To not play a round of golf this year without getting new grips.
Yeah. Jordan had to hit my clubs tonight. Yeah.
But I hit them pretty good other than your hybrid, but the grips.
How often
it's
do you
time.
think? How often do you think I get my clubs regripped?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. Every other year.
That's actually right. I probably could go every year, but I'm. That's an exception.
I've had those for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yes. So I refuse to golf with you this year until you have new grips.
Mhm.
Challenge.
Can you regrip my clubs for me?
I can take them somewhere and Venmo request money from you. Yes. I'm happy to do that.
That's always a good goal, but I always think, well, why would I want to regrip my own clubs if I'm just gonna screw it up? So
I don't know how in depth it is.
It's kind
I
of.
figured if anyone's
It involves hairspray, lube, a vice grip.
He doesn't need
Jordan's
lube.
life.
He doesn't need lube on his if they're already that slippery.
And speed.
And speed, yeah. All right. Plan to accomplish on the golf course this year. I'm hopefully in a boat where I'm playing more. I guess maybe win something. I don't feel like I've played for like anything in forever. So
Look at this disrespect to us.
the RTG Invitational.
Yeah.
That's true. That is my very coveted trophy. But I don't want to say that because you guys will just crucify me for it. So I was hoping one of you would say win the RTG Invitational.
You just said I haven't played for anything. That's
That's a
part
good
we're
point.
crucifying.
You're right. I have that. I do take that semi-seriously. All right. Jordan, your 2025 Masters winner is Tiger. Okay. All right.
I've never been a Tiger guy. I would never have actually picked him. I'm gonna go Rory.
Oh, man. Seen a lot of takes. I've seen a lot of takes. Rory winning the Masters, Spieth winning the PGA. would that just be like an all-time year with both those guys closing out career Grand Slams? I actually don't really care.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm gonna go with my boy Willie Z. You know, he had a second in his first Masters, I believe.
He's had 2 second place finishes.
He was up there, kind of disappeared, had the year with the surgery, struggled last year, but he's coming back to old Willie Z. I mean, he's been gaining on approach. Just, the putter has been the Willie Z putter. He lost 6 strokes last week, but he's shown the ability to have some pop weeks. So I think our boy Willie's coming back.
I mean, Augusta is a course history place, so why not a guy that's had great history early in his career? Austin, you gotta take the Masters. Do you know any professional golfers?
I'm gonna go Scheffler.
Fair.
I mean, is he the best in the world right now still?
Yep.
He is the best in the world. He probably will win the Masters.
He'll be the favorite.
I won't have a problem with it, but
I'm gonna go not Roy McIlroy. It's too old.
Because he chokes there.
Washed up.
Washed up.
I think this for Will. Sorry, I'm going back to him. It's crazy. At majors in his career, he's only lost on approach once in 16 starts.
he lost in the playoff at Valhalla, right? Like he's got a really good finish.
He's got 3 seconds, a sixth. And the one time he did lose on approach was at the Masters, where he lost only 0.72 strokes, and he still finished 6th. So yeah, like let's bring Will back.
Well, Kyle, let me ask you this question on the Masters.
Did you have what's your answer?
I'm going to ask you. You tell me who I should cheer for. Apparently, I placed 4 bets in a betting state sometime in the last year. I forgot just futures.
That's a good. I just did that when I was in Arizona.
So here we go. I got Cam Davis plus 150. Not plus 1, plus 15,000. Sorry. So 150 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad bet. That would have been a
Not
bad
a bad bet. Sorry, plus 15,000. Sungjae Im plus 10,000.
Yeah.
These are sometime last year. Tagala, 80 to 1. And this one I like now, given that his current number is much lower. JT, 40 to 1.
He's having a good.
So,
Good year.
I think that one is trending in the right direction. So if I got to pick, I got to say JT at the Masters.
JT. Now I'm trying to log into DraftKings
See
here.
what you
Because I
placed.
know I did a bunch of bets when I was in Arizona.
I'm trying to think what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to run through just a couple of real quick things on the RTG side before we do the Players Championship. So, Listener League, last 4 weeks. I'm not going to run through all the winners, but Listener Buke wants us to shout out that he has, in the last 3 weeks, 4th, 1st, 3rd. And he's got a quote-unquote model that has hacked the RTG Listener League.
All right, we're coming for you this week, Book. Yeah, good luck.
He's got, bulletin board material right there. Top experts on the year so far: Brandon Gadula, Spencer Aguilar. Actually, big shout out for Spencer, our top expert the 3 of the last 5 weeks. So I'm pretty much just straight tailing Spencer's picks going into the Players Championship. Hans Gievers and John Haselbauer rounding out some of our top experts on the year so far. And then Jordan, one and done. Things got kind of a little bit tighter
There was
after the party.
There was some action this week. Had 6 people make over $1 million. 3 with Henley, 2 with Morikawa, and a Corey Connors in there. So props to Sippy, T Nash, and some other guy for getting Russell Henley right for $4 million. I guess I need to give Mike credit. He finally got a winner.
That was an RTG top power index play. I just all I do is read the RTG model, make the picks.
Yep. Even Kyle and I were both top 7 here. Also, he had Scheffler. Really shooting your shot there.
Yeah. Talk to me about that one, Kyle. Talk to me about that one.
I thought I could beat early, right? I was going to go to Scotty before he popped back up and started winning things. And I didn't think people would do it yet. It's an event he won last year. And, I think people get confused by the concept of paydays at majors. The elevated events outside of this week are just as good as some of the major payouts. So I was trying to be early, trying to
Yep.
get there before the field, backfired.
Luckily, Tommy Fleetwood shot the same score, so we got the same amount of money.
Well, I just
Uh,
turned out I need to get a Tommy Fleetwood winter week.
Yeah.
Because that really happens on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
It never has.
But year to date, Brad Lynch up at 8 million already. He is 2.5 million in the lead. And there's a big group in the 5 range, a bunch of 4s and then some 2s. So Brad starting to separate himself. Mike, though, 5th place, highest you've ever been in this
It might be.
in 3 years. No, it is. You've been pretty terrible. You've only been better than Kyle, who's also struggled at this.
I competed last year. First year was pretty rough.
But yeah, so
A lot of golf left.
some big money. We found that $4 million is, I mean, there was only 2 people that were above $4 million last week total, and
Yeah,
now there are
I'm
3 people won $4
we
million.
get a big purse this week. Let's go.
And
Yep.
there's a lot of time left, a lot of purses left. No need to get cute yet. Just go get some dubs.
Last update before the players preview. I'm in 2 survivor pools, still alive in both.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked through this yet.
No, we
Usually
haven't.
by now
We're gonna we'll get through it. We'll get
It's
through
weird.
it.
You don't call me to talk through these things, Mike.
Nope, I do not. I definitely don't. All right, here we go. The Players Championship, the 5th major. Frankly, I like, I like watching the iconic golf course. I probably like watching this more than I like watching the PGA Championship, but the Players Championship is appointment television. If you're a golf fan, TPC Sawgrass, Pete and Alice Dye's masterpiece, Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. The best thing about tournaments like this is we get tons and tons of data about what gets it done at Sawgrass. So Kyle, I know you got some ideas, whether it's Pete Dye courses or it's TPC Sawgrass.
Yeah, and I would echo what you say about the tournament in general too. I have more, I guess, memories of finishes at this course outside of anywhere except for maybe the Masters. Just because we're at the same venue every year. You have 17, obviously. 18 is a great finishing hole. Even going back to last year, Wyndham Clark, rimmed out that putt. Yeah.
That made me quadruple figures, specifically that lip out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're right. Like, I think this is the PGA Tour has to lean into iconic venues. Obviously, they do. This is the PGA Tour's flagship event. We did not call in our normal boots on the ground reporter, but like they got to lean into these events. So there's more of them out there in terms of iconic venues. But this one certainly is the top.
Yeah, so this week, it's always the king at TPC Sawgrass, but strokes gain approach even more than normal. But you do see a good sprinkle of that around the green game this week as well when you look back at past winners. I really lean on recent form. You go back, especially since it moved to this place in the schedule, moving from May to March. It has been guys that have won big events, and it has been guys that have been playing well that usually go get it done this week. Usually you see strokes gain off the tee, not necessarily accurate, not necessarily long, but just a good combination of it. But Cam Smith would be one outlier that got it done just with the around the green and approach play that did not get it done off the tee. But at the end of the day, it's volatile. You have to stay dry. There's water in play on 16 of the holes. So you're gonna have the 6-6 rate is probably going to be very low this week. Usually we do get some weather at Sawgrass as well, so make sure you're checking that on Wednesday. But it's going to be volatile. Take some chances. It is a week to try to get a little different in the GPP lineups for sure.
Yeah, so DraftKings wise, we get the Scotty Scheffler pricing that we wanted the last couple of weeks, which is that 12.8 this week. But we also get a 5K range, which I know there's going to be some takes there in the 5K range, but you are getting Scotty Scheffler at 12.8. Again, I think with a 5K range, you probably could have seen him priced at 13.5 and probably been okay with it. It made people choose once again, but it's going to be really interesting in the middle of the board what people do between Scotty Scheffler and Mike Kim.
Got a real-time update. Wild won a shootout.
Hey, oh, that needed that W. We could have put that on one of the 19 monitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. The lineup construction is going to be interesting this week, and I'm very frustrated by the pricing because I love a week like this where it makes you really think about your lineup construction. And with that 5K range, especially with some of the guys in it, you can easily go Scotty Rowe start, throw in Alex Smalley and Michael Kim, who are in the 5K range that have been playing great, and still do whatever the heck you want. You can cram another 9K guy in if you.
Yeah, it's not going to force any like real fun decision making. So basically, you go out and pick the guys you think are going to win. Like you could come out, you could go out and just fade Scotty Scheffler and say, I just don't think he's gonna. Maybe he's gonna finish between top 20, top 40. If you want to fade some of the chalk, but you don't have to.
Yeah,
You don't have to make that choice.
and especially with Scotty and the accessibility here, if he was 13.8 or if there wasn't the 5Ks, then that decision gets more interesting, right? Because he can still probably be an optimal and finish fourth at this price point or fifth.
Yep.
Where if he's 13.8, you have to have he has to win to pay that off.
Yep.
Which is it. But
Yeah, especially last point on that. I mean, he's plus 400 this week, and Rory's plus 1,000. So like we think Scotty's got a 2.5 time more likely chance to win this event than the next guy. Like the salary doesn't reflect that, and so I just don't think. I think DFS wise, I'm a little uninspired, but I'm also kind of interested. And then just going and being weird and picking the guys I think are going to have a good week.
Yeah, and I think you're right. That's an interesting point, especially if you try to go with a more balanced approach with the volatility of this event. If Scotty or Rory doesn't win and people do slam on him or start with the Scotty Collin lineup, which I think is going to be very, highly used as well.
For sure.
And because of the pricing, it makes it easier for people to do that. So more people do that, and then they don't get there. The whole game theory piece, yeah, maybe that gives us more. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Well, why don't you run down the top 4 or 5 guys on the RTG model, and we'll start there.
Well, we've mentioned his name about a dozen times so far, but Scotty Scheffler leading the way at 47% mention share, 55 on the MPI. Sepp Straka, who's been playing pretty well, right behind him, 8,600, 42% mention share. And then we have a gaggle of folks at 35% mention share. Aaron Rye, Daniel Berger, aka DB Straight Vibin, Nick Taylor, and Shane Lowry. I'm curious, Jordan, have you ever looked up Daniel Berger's Instagram?
No,
Is he still posting?
Yeah, DB Straight Vibin, man.
that's his Instagram.
Yeah.
DB straight
I think
vibe.
he made that like in, let's see, he's probably
Good for him.
like, he probably made that in like
Good for him.
2010, 2009 maybe when he was like 13.
I saw him checking out of a hotel in Phoenix after
Seriously?
he missed the cut at the Waste Management Open, like
Just this
10
year.
No, like 10
Oh.
years ago.
Okay.
But I was like, hey, I know that guy. That's Daniel Berger. As he's just getting in his car,
Oh man.
grumpy on a Saturday
He
morning.
was not vibing at that
Yeah,
point.
he was not.
Why wouldn't you just? Oh man, I know I've told this story a lot, and I don't know if I've ever told it on the pod. But Jordan, I think you know this person. I'm definitely not going to say their name, but there was this person that we both worked with that entered like an office pool with a personal email address willingly. Big sexy 686.
I don't know.
I'll tell you
We both know
afterwards.
that it's dumb enough to do that, but I cannot wait to find out.
Just like, and so people like, and like this is before I knew who this person was, but people would call him Big Sexy. And I'd be like, what's up with that? And they're like, oh man, he entered this pool one time with a personal email. I'm like, God,
I was really hoping you were going to say it was like a 5 foot female. Like,
I mean, maybe
No,
maybe
5 foot 80
this,
pound
this,
female.
this guy is definitely like
Yeah.
6'4",
Yeah.
looming.
Yeah.
Not,
This is going by his real name.
It's not who you think. I think you're thinking, but
not someone you're really close with.
yeah. Anyways,
Sorry, I made us digress there.
Well, let's keep digressing. What's the worst email you ever created for yourself? Do you have KYSexy69 at
No.
hotmail.com in 2002 or
I
what?
think all my emails have always been very straightforward and boring.
Like the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Play
Kyle.
good defense.
Well, I'm gonna play it back. I'll play it back. Fine. Give me a couple plays and stuff. So first of all, I think we kind of covered it. Scotty or not Scotty. I mean, I'm probably out at this point on Scotty.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be a more fun week DFS wise to not play him.
I think I am out Scotty as well. That said, the hard part of being out Scotty is the 9K range is kind of interesting. I mean, you have Decky, which always has
Incredible course history here.
course history, but Decky is always an uncomfortable
He
play.
might not finish he might not finish the first day.
Who knows? He withdrew from the Pro-Am last week,
Fucking
right?
Decky.
So there's always something going on with Decky, but maybe because of that, like you said, a good course history here. Maybe there's something to it. You have Tommy Fleetwood, who I think is going to be popular this week. You have Sung Jae, who I don't think people are going to play. You have Daniel Berger, we talked about, Russell Henry, Wyndham Clark, Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Shane Lowry. It's just, you got a little bit of everything. I think you're going to have some guys that people like and maybe go in as a second person after a Scotty. And then you have some guys that don't have great form, such as Sung Jae. So it just, the 9K range is interesting. Maybe you can go with the Colin Morikawa start. A model does like him. He's at 30% mention share and really strong on the MPIs at this point. I think that's primarily driven by Spencer, who you've noted has been really hot so far, and Hans Gieber. So that makes sense. Like two of our and John Hasselbauer as well. So some of our better plays. So maybe that's a great place to start. I think he's going to be popular, but it's not that you can't make click popular names. You just have to do your lineup construction differently. Like if you do want to play Scotty, I think you have to figure out a way to do it and leave the 5K range alone.
Yeah,
Or play somebody different.
And I know I called out like the Scotty Scheffler and Mike Kim. That just feels like
For sure.
Mike Kim is. I think you said this to me earlier this week. Like he is going to get steamed up.
Yeah. So Mike Kim's $5,900. He 24% mention share because I think some people are staying away from mentioning him because of that. But his form is immaculate. He is pretty strong on our MPI at this standpoint. But if you go Scotty Mike Kim start, you have to figure out a way to be unique from there. So who other guys I do like? I am intrigued by Nick Taylor. I stayed away from him last week, but the guy's just been playing some great golf, and that's what we want to go to here. I didn't think he was a great course fit last week, and I knew he was getting some steam. 7,300 this week, and I still think he'll be somewhat popular because he has that 36% mention share. But I'm hoping there's enough other guys around him that try to spread out that, those clicks in the lower 7K range a little bit. We mentioned Aaron Rai. Keegan Bradley's in the sevens. He's getting some love. Christian Zunhout has been getting some love. And then Jordan's guy, I'm not going to steal it, but Jordan, do you know who has the best course history of really anyone that's in this field at TPC Sawgrass?
Keegan Bradley.
Siwoo.
Oh, my Siwoo
I
guy.
believe he is 7 for 7 making cuts, and I think there's only 3 guys starting this week that have more than 3 starts that have not missed a cut.
Wow.
Sawgrass.
So is this his week to miss the cut, or does he keep it going?
That's what my lean would be. I would take him to miss the cut.
What's his dollar amount?
He is 8,200, and that's what makes him interesting. I think that 8K range, especially if you don't start with Scotty.
I can't easily swap him in with my current lineup. So
See, that's the thing. That's what this.
So I've got like 7,800, 8,700. Sorry, Siwoo.
You're speaking to the point here.
Siwoo later.
People are not going to land in that lower 8s very often unless they seek out Siwoo. What do you got, Mike?
Well, I just accidentally X'd out my model that I was going to go off of. So I'm going to go off 2 guys that I've highlighted here. In fact, I don't even really want to highlight Keegan Bradley all that much, other than it's just going to
Well,
be.
you'd be copy. I just mentioned him, so you can't.
I know it's just going to be such an incredible story. The way that this guy is going to, and he's going to play his way onto the
It's
team.
going to be the player coach.
It's going to be awesome. And so I'm pulling for him as a golf fan just to continue his run.
Do you think now that Tiger's hurt and out, does he relinquish his captaincy
I hope
to
so.
Tiger?
No. Oh,
If he's going to
I
play,
brilliant.
right? It's because the Tiger didn't have to deal with it all year. It's like a last minute thing.
That's
Hi, Tiger,
kinda-
I'm playing. Come be the captain.
That he doesn't. Yeah, that's kind of brilliant. Here's a guy though. Here's a guy that I was starting to peek at. I kind of can't believe how good he's playing this year. Feels like he's freed up. Surprisingly, has missed 3 cuts out of 6 events on the year, but he's gained strokes on approach in all of them except one, and a whopping 5 strokes at the Cognizant and 4 strokes, almost 5 strokes at Mexico. Joel Damon, $5,100,
Joel.
has been one of the best ball strikers on the season, off the tee and on approach. The place where he loses it is around the green, which I know you need here because you got those tricky Pete Dye is going to make you miss in the right spots, and so maybe that's the part that bites him. But you talk about needing great tee to green players, positive tee to green despite 2 missed cuts in the last 5 events. You could do worse with $5,100. Joel Damon maybe going to be sub 4% owned. So there's a bomb play for you this week while I reload my model.
I like it. I'm curious, what's your thoughts on Russell Henley this week? Are people gonna fade post W like we do see happen often in the DFS betting community? Because I mean, if there's a course, last week wasn't the course I would have called a great Russell Henley fit. This week is. I mean, and the guy has been T30 at the Century, T10, T5, T39, T6 in the W. Great on approach. He lost slightly at the Genesis, but he's been putting well. He was a wizard around the greens last week. Obviously, had the huge ship in on Sunday to get it done. And $9,500. Some of the other guys around there. Do you think people are going to go there?
I don't think they will, but what about his game should turn you off? Exactly what you just said. Nothing.
Exactly.
And he strikes me as the type of guy that, like even he said, he's not trying to win. Like it seems like he kind of stumbled into a win, but it doesn't seem like he's had this huge emotional buildup and this pressure has been taking off of him. Like he strikes me as the kind of guy that's like, I'm going to turn around and just go grind out another tough event. So yeah, I'd go if I can get a leverage break on him, I'd go back to Russell.
I'm intrigued, especially you got Tommy at 9,800, who I think, we talked about you can do a Scotty Collins start, a Scotty Rory start. I don't think many people are going to go to Rory. So that just putting that out there, especially if you fade Scotty and just starting with Rory. But I'm intrigued by the concept of maybe either going Rory Russell or starting with Colin going to Russell. 1-2 from last week. Let's go.
So the next guy that we gotta sort out here is the top overall power index play on the RTG side as of Tuesday night, and that is Andrew Putnam. And I know that he's getting love from a couple of our top contributors this week, which usually what drives that might even out. But
I believe Matt Gannon being one.
Yeah, but Putnam, he was 11th at the Cognizant, 49th at Mexico, 25th at Phoenix. I have backed him a little bit this year. Has been putting well, gaining on approach the last 4 events. Not the best player off the tee. Really doesn't have much distance, but he is accurate. Again, like is he a guy that maybe we could sneak through again? 2, 3, 4% owned and be different than taking Mike Kim in the 5Ks?
I like it if you're going to the 5s, especially if you're leaving alone. Michael Kim, Alex Smalley, some of the other guys have been great on approach this year. Even maybe a Jacob Bridgman going that route down there. I dig it. A guy I wanted to also make sure we talked about, I believe, is 6K flat this week, who went to live. And now is back.
Yeah, I was trying to figure this out. How did this happen? Is he the first?
I believe he's the first to play in obviously in the PGA's Tour's flagship event. But he only played in Live that first year, only had the 1-year contract, was an alternate the next year. Earned his way back to the DP World Tour last year, and then got in this event by the DP World Tour's exemptions.
So he got his card. Does he have a PGA Tour card? No. Okay.
Just the DP World Tour's exemptions into
this event.
This event. But on the DP World Tour, he's been 3rd, 1st, T35, and second the last 4 times out. That's Laurie Cantor, 6,000 this week. He did, not all these rounds are measured, but typically has been gaining on approach, not just gaining, but popping extremely well when he does over 6 strokes. Gaining off the tee, it's just whether the putter comes with it. So that could be a good fit this week, only 6K, and not someone that the casual fan that's jumping in this week might have on the radar.
Is this,
Wasn't on my radar.
does this, if he goes out in top 5s, does this validate Liv?
If tops 5s, he
That
gets into the next event, right?
I'm not sure.
I believe.
I'm just,
I think we go the opposite way. If he misses the cut, it validates Liv.
Yeah.
Is what I think it is.
Uh,
Yeah, is that a conversation for the next pod? Is Brooks coming back?
yeah, I don't
think
care.
We'll save it for the next one.
We'll save it for the next one. There's a whole different debate there. Okay, so let's do this. We've kind of scattered the board here. Of the 10K plays, if you want to get different, is it JT or Xander?
JT.
If
Got
I think they're all going to draw some ownership. I think Xander's the one that probably people are going to stay away from.
Cantlay, I suppose.
It's going to be interesting. I would think a Xander Cantlay start, you're going to be unique.
Okay.
As unique as
It's a
you
really
can
nice
get.
way of saying you suck at DFS.
No,
Well,
I'm intrigued.
You're gonna play a Xander Cantlay start?
If you're trying to get
You're
different,
gonna-
I mean, that's
How many shares are you gonna have that have Xander and Cantlay in the same lineup? You can say 0
he'll say 1. He'll do 1.
now, just because.
Now I have to do one. RTG.
So 0.
There you go.
There you go. Yes, your RTG lineup is. You have to start with those two.
I do have some Xander exposure elsewhere because I think you're getting a guy this week that people are going to stay away from just because they're concerned about coming back from.
Made the cut on the number at the Arnie.
Yeah,
didn't
but-
really do much except for Sunday.
Well, you look what he did last week though. He's still getting an approach. He gained off the tee. He was awful around the greens.
Yeah.
So and that's just something that maybe goes away with time. It takes a little bit more to come back, but yeah, I'm intrigued. I mean, you're getting a guy that finished second here last year, and that's his second.
He's played 7 times, 3 top 25s, 3 missed cuts.
Which happens to everyone here. I'm curious, Jordan. What we haven't got Jordan stakes this week.
JT.
I like
JT.
it.
So I've texted about this, how I've gone away from the model and just pick my guys. And I've been winning some money lately.
So we got Jordan's lineup this week: JT, Siwoo Kim.
No,
Ryan
I
Harmon.
told you no Siwoo. I've got here Bezudenhout, Dietrich, McNeely, Thagala, Thomas, Zalatoris. I've placed an emphasis on how well guys are playing this year. The only one, McNeely, is only 10 cuts out of 14. All the others are perfect or have missed 1 cut.
The cuts goes back to the fall.
And also the only stat that's visible in the DraftKings app. So
Yeah. And I've won more money in RTG events than
Yeah,
both of you. This
I don't
year.
know, I cleaned up. I got a first place in the last couple of weeks. Here's the thing about the
I've had a
the
good year.
players.
Mhm.
Your last 5 champs: Scotty, Cameron Smith,
But-
JT, Rory.
All
Like,
major winners.
I don't need a winner. I need 6 cuts made.
what has changed though about this event? It's like dominated by the elite players.
I think it's I think a lot of it's where it's at in the schedule. Because I think everyone's trying to hit peak performance
the Masters.
to get ready. Yeah, to get ready for the Masters. Where
It's also the first major. We should just call it the first major.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Have we had
There's
more
fun.
volatile weather when it's moved to March over May?
It seems like
It feels like it.
I was pulling up Wind Finder here. I don't know. Have you looked?
That's a website, Wind Finder.
Yeah.
How do you find out the wind? I gotta know the
Yeah,
hour by hour.
I look outside.
When I looked at the 4 o'clock, there might be a slight early wave advantage, which I'm going to do in a 20 max just for
A slight early late. Looks like
Late.
we might pick it up Thursday.
late early. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And
We'll
the
see.
sea, even that's went away now. But it looks like maybe on the weekend we get some fun.
Oh my.
Yeah.
40-mile-an-hour gusts on Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Hit up your showdowns for that.
Hey, how about this? We'll tweet out our win this week. Go to us, not Jason Sobel.
That's a good point. Yeah, that guy got crushed. I don't know what happened. It's almost like it's like he scheduled a tweet that he forgot to cancel. Oh,
He
brutal.
tweeted on Saturday night right before the Sunday round for Jordan because he wasn't there. That there was going to be like 50-mile-an-hour winds on Sunday.
It was like
9.
yeah.
Everyone's like,
it's
where
like
are you
what-
getting this forecast?
It's like what we do with Teams messages. I'm gonna send that late in like 2 days.
Yep,
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, the last thing we'll take semi-seriously, survivor picks. Now I know that I don't have I guess you got your betting card, but I know that I don't have like all my like available guys out there, but my early lean based on who I have available. So no Scotty. I think I still have Rory available in one. No Ludwig. Colin's gone in the big one. So I have clicked in JT on the big pool and Colin on the reload.
I like it. That's actually what
Barring any like serious like weather issue on Thursday.
Yep. I think that's where I would land. I know we talked going into last week that Colin needed to be on the radar for this week, and he didn't do anything to get away from it. And JT, I mean, we're seeing the Justin Thomas of old when it comes to his ball striking. And at the heart of it, that's what we want this week. If he misses the cut, it's more likely because the putter's completely left him. But
Yeah, I mean, without having Ludwig's and Scotty available, like where else are you gonna go? Tommy Fleetwood. But I think if you have for the Players Championship, you take a guy that's won it in the last 5 years, and then Colin, who's been playing great golf, obviously all year and even last year as well. That seems as safe as it can get.
And we talk about how volatile this event is. Yes, JT missed the cut last year, but prior to that, he had made 8 straight here.
Yeah, including that 1 year where he beat the wave. He beat like the 3-stroke wave disadvantage.
Yeah. So I think your clicks are correct.
Okay.
Little debate.
Final thoughts. Betting card.
I do have a betting card this week. Leading into it, I am on Justin Thomas, 25-1 for 4 units. Xander at 22, just can't pass that number up. So there's my Xander exposure. And also 4 units there. And then that leaves me a couple longer shots. Nick Taylor, who we talked about, that I like from a DFS perspective, at 110. And then Alex Smalley, who I do like, even though he's in that 5K range, might be a part of the cash lineup. Probably going to be there from a cash perspective. But he's at 120 this week. Again, somebody else who's been good.
I can't wait to see your Xander Cantlay lineup in RTG.
It's coming. And then I'm gonna have to put it in something else too, just in case. I can't. If it's a cash lineup or something else, you got to sprinkle it elsewhere just in case.
Is it too late in the show? I mean, I know we got to wrap things up. Is it too late in the show for me to complain about Tom Hoagie? $250,
No,
$6,100.
sucks.
Well,
We're over Tom. We're over Tommy Taylor.
Am I
you
done?
know, if we had access to betting in this state, this fine state,
That feels like a number.
no, first round leader is the play on Tom Hoagie, because the other people I mentioned about the not messing cut streak, I thought you would be all over this. You know who else is in that?
He's made it. He's made it 7 years.
Tommy
6 years?
Tables. Yeah, he has not missed a cut.
In 6 tries, right?
In 6 tries. T72, T30, T22, T33, third in T50.
Yeah, when he shot that 61 in the final round. So I know he's kind of lost his way a little bit this year, but 250, man, I don't know. He's probably a decent top 10 bet,
It's a good number, but the guy has not gained a stroke on approach, and
which is his calling card.
yeah, in the last 4 weeks. So you do have that. His T40 last week was also with 4 strokes gained putting, which you don't expect to see from Tommy Tables.
No.
Yeah, if you might have to drive to Iowa tomorrow, Mike, just as
I got time.
Go
There's
throw a dollar
one thing I got time.
yeah.
All right, let's wrap things up. Austin, you've been quiet. You got any you got a final plug for Office Golf here?
And
You'll be back tomorrow?
I'll be back tomorrow. They finally shut it down at like
It stopped
10 p.m.
thumping.
on
Yeah.
Thursday.
It stopped thumping. It stopped thumping. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, I'm excited to watch some real golf this week. That's it. Yeah. We'll be back, I guess.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
We'll
was
be back
great.
for the Masters.
Masters, but this is pretty good. Masters pod, April, it's going to be April 10, 9, 8, April 8th. Masters preview pod. In the meantime, you can find anything you need on RTG at RTG Podcast DFS. Our YouTube channel is Reading the Green. We now have monthly podcasts for all of the major events this year, and you can also find those on any major podcast platform. I guess this means we are 1 month away from Masters Week.
Whew,
That's
I need
pretty
to put up I need to change the background in my office.
Got it.
I have a Masters flag that I put up for the month before the Masters.
I look forward to seeing it.
Do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. See you.